Welcome to Talk This Way. I am here with all the way across the pond with Sydney Rae White from The Wild Things. Sydney, thanks so much for taking the time.
No problem. Thank you.
So let's get right to it. Just a couple of days, Sunday, you guys fly over to the States. Big show in New York with The Who.
Yes.
You guys have to be just incredibly stoked.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's our first time playing the States ever. We've played some amazing shows over the last couple months, including one with The Who at London's iconic venue, which was the Royal Albert Hall. But Madison Square Garden is kind of like, I don't know, next level, even for us. But I mean, Royal Albert Hall was our first show post-COVID. So it's mad what we've been able to do in the space of a couple months after doing nothing for 2 years. So, we're trying to take it in our stride, but at the same time, we're internally screaming,
Well, I think that's pretty much how it's been going for every band on the planet. We're coming out of this, we're not 100% out of the woods yet, but we've made incredible progress and things are getting back to normal for the most part. And it's just been right out of the gate for everybody. Yeah, for sure. It's kind of nice to have that as a shared experience. I think it would be a lot more isolating if it was just us that hadn't done anything for that long and being thrown into it. But I think it makes the audience a lot more, I don't know, with you, because it's we're all in this together, and we're all back together. So that's a kind of wonderful element to it, Yeah, covering shows, from my perspective, covering shows since we've been back, doing live music again, it really is just even more of an overwhelming sense of community at these shows, whether it's a little club or a stadium. And the bands, the crowd feels it, the bands know it. And I can't tell you how many artists I've heard, say in one way or another what you just said, oh my God, we're back together, we did it. And, let's do this thing.
Exactly. It feels so much, I mean, shows are always special anyway, but it does feel so much more regardless of what you're playing. Like you said, it could be to 12 people, it could be to 12,000. And it's still look guys, we're here all together, we're back, we're doing it. How much fun is it to be out again? Safely, I will say, we're sensible, but it's still nice to be out.
Now, you guys, this is your first time coming over to the States, as you mentioned. Do you guys have anything that you're expecting, not knowing what to expect?
Oh God, I mean, yes, from a professional point of view, because we've individually, we've all been to the States a whole bunch of times, for holidays or even for some work things, but never shows, never gigs. I think we're really excited to kind of see and feel the audience vibe. I know that sounds silly, but audiences are, everyone knows, worldwide, they're a bit different. And also to see how people react to our songs there versus here. Because, we're playing with The Who, so a lot of the people that are coming won't have heard some of our stuff before. So it'll be interesting to see and hear and feel their reactions to us, as opposed to a lot of our English fans or even English people who aren't fans yet, So, we're not expecting anything, but we are very much looking forward to what will happen, whatever that may be. Hopefully it's not hatred, but if it is, that's up to you. I can't stop you.
Well, listening to you guys, I don't think it's going to be hatred.
Thank you.
Obviously, as you mentioned, The Who, obviously one of the greatest bands of all time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Music, not even just rock music.
No,
but very classic rock. You guys are obviously, a little more on the alternative side of things. You have some different elements there. And, there's a obviously going to be some generational differences at the show.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a really interesting experience, and I mean that in a very positive way, you know.
Yeah. I completely agree. It's wild because our music, we've been playing a lot, again, like I said, over the past few months, and the main thing we get from a lot of people, and it doesn't matter what age they are, is that our music kind of, it makes them feel like a sense of nostalgia, or it's like, it's not classic rock, it's not new sort of pop rock, it's somewhere in between, that kind of makes people feel this way, that they think they've kind of heard it before in, like a different generation, but they haven't, obviously, because it is new music. But we that again is part of the excitement, to see what that audience kind of, or how that audience reacts to it. I mean, we've got a show literally the next day at the Mercury Lounge as well, which is our own show. We're putting that show on. So again, different audience there. We don't know who's going to show up to that, but a whole different experience. Again, we'll see.
That's going to be really cool. That's a very cool venue in New York.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. And so where do you guys, we'll go back to some of the Madison Square Garden stuff in a few, but where are you guys headed? Do we have any other plans after the Mercury Lounge show? What are we doing? Where are we going?
Well, so we are just staying in New York for this trip.
Okay.
So we're out there we were cheeky. We booked 2 weeks just so that we could explore and eat a lot of good food. Oh,
beautiful.
It's New York. You've got to do the food scene. So yeah, we come back, and then we're playing Hyde Park with Pearl Jam.
Wow.
Which is, Hyde Park's here, obviously. And then we've got some other cool stuff. And then here in England. And then later on in the year, we are playing again with The Who in Vegas for a couple nights, which I think that's November, which is really cool. And there is something else we're doing stateside, but I think I've been told I'm not allowed to say what it is yet. But it's not with The Who.
Okay.
It is with another band, and it's pretty big, and it's places that we've never been before. So they're about the only hints I can give without giving too much away. But
that's fine. We don't want to get you in any trouble with PR or management, because that would be bad news bears. But that is very cool to know, and I'm sure that stateside we'll all be sitting tight for that. And I mean, if Hyde Park with Pearl Jam on your side of the pond is any indication of what you guys are up to right now, I'm sure over here the announcement is going to be just as big, if not bigger. So that's very cool.
Yeah, here's hoping. it's pretty cool.
So shifting toward the musical side of things, you guys have the show at MSG, and you guys have worked with The Who's Pete Townsend on some of the music, and he has been working with you guys on your new album. The first single is out now, Only Attraction. I'm assuming fans can expect to hear that at both New York shows. They most certainly will. Yeah, they're definitely going to hear that. That was super cool. We recorded that with Townsend at his studio, one of his studios, I should say. I'm trying to remember the timeline with COVID, because it all gets a bit wild, doesn't it? I think it was just before everything kind of hit the fan. And we recorded a number of songs with him, and he produced them and played and sang on a couple of them. He's just, I mean, obviously the man is a genius. So what an incredible experience. But we also have a new single coming out in New York, and he is on that one too. So people will be able to hear Townsend doing his thing with us again, which is fun. Very cool. I imagine there was quite a lot to learn from you guys, and not even like necessarily from a songwriting point of view, but just overall how just how to be a musician and be a rock star. And that's not to say that you guys have no idea what you're doing, but just to be in the presence of that, it just rubs off on you. It was
unbelievable. I mean, I remember driving to the studio because we stayed there. We were there for a few days, and it's sort of in the middle of the countryside. I mean, it's almost like, it was almost fairy tale like, because you drive to wherever his studio is, and there's like Bambis jumping over fences, and the sun was shining, and it was so surreal. And then we went into the studio and we set up our stuff so that we could start work early the next day. And when he comes in, obviously he's such a presence anyway, but then he just sits down and starts doing his thing, and he's like, no, you know, this song is great, but this is how I think we should maybe change up the structure or the speed or whatever. And you're sat there going, what is my life? What am I doing here? It's very humbling, and it really grounds you, but you do learn so much. And my brother, who's the bassist in the band, he's also a producer, and so for him, I think it was, you know, it's absolutely priceless to be in that room, and he just makes you think so outside the box, which I think it's very difficult to do when you're in this sort of 4-person group and you're so used to just being this insular songwriting machine. And then to have this genius come in, you go like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. But at the same time, it's Pete Townsend. So of course I didn't think of that. Only you could think of that. And it's been integral for the songwriting that we do now, which is so much fun. We used to not struggle, but it would be, I don't know, more frustrating. Whereas now we're so much more open to ideas and sounds and instruments that we wouldn't really have looked at before, just because we didn't think it was quote unquote our style. So he changed a lot for us in a very small space of time, and I will eternally be grateful to him for that. He knows it. We tell him all the time. We're like, thank you, dude. Thank you. He's like, yeah. He's so casual. It's amazing. He's awesome.
That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's just, I don't really know what to follow that up with. I'm just kind of sitting here listening to, you know, taking it all in what you just said, trying to picture myself in a room with Pete Townsend. I don't know.
I know.
I'd have my camera, not a guitar,
I can't put the words to it. It's mad. It's still insane. And whenever he's like, oh, do you want to come in and, let's listen to this in my studio, we're like, okay, here we go again.
Would love to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is like that, but you've also got to kind of G yourself up and build yourself up for it, because it feels like when you sit down, it's like you've had like 19 espressos. You're like, okay, here we go. You know, it's cool. It's cool.
Oh, wow. Incredible. So the new album is called Afterglow. And
yes, it is. Yeah.
It is done, correct?
It is done. Yes. Yeah. I can't even remember when we finished it now, but yeah, it's been done for not that long, but a fair amount of time. But yeah, it's something special. It's not something we've done before, again, in terms of songwriting or anything else really. It's kind of, it's a I don't know if you call it a concept album, but it's a story that unfolds over one night in a fictional town called Valentine, and it's about this sort of phenomenon called the afterglow. It sounds complicated. It's not. When we do release it, and people get to listen, it'll make more sense. But yeah, it's a really cool. Well, I'm biased, but I think it's a really cool piece of music, really, and of course, you know, inspired very much so in terms of the story by The Who, and you know, albums like Quadrophenia and things like that. So yeah, we thought we'd delve into that kind of realm for this one, and it's been a challenge, but a good one.
That's awesome. It's very cool. I think that fans really, you know, they can either take music at face value, which is totally fine if that's what you do, or, you know, they can kind of dig deeper and find something with a little bit more to nosh on, you know, a little bit more to think about, and make it kind of more of an experience. And it sounds like that's what you guys did with this record, and that can be a lot of fun and a really tremendous experience for the listener.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. What I like to think we've done is that if you do want to take it for just face value, then you've got, you know, a collection of just a bunch of really cool songs. But if you do want to delve further in, there's this whole universe behind it. So you kind of have the option. If you just want to listen and take it in, that's cool too. You know, we're never going to force anything on you, as you shouldn't with music, really.
Do you guys have a release date yet? Do we have a release date for the album?
For the record, no, we don't. We we get asked that so often, and we're like, you know, you kind of do these things, you write them and you have them and they're finished, they're done, it's produced, it's mastered, and you just want to throw it out. And we've been wanting to do that for a while, but I all I can say is I promise it'll be worth the wait. There's no release date yet, but we will give one soon.
Very cool. And I imagine when the record does come out, I know you guys have a lot of, one-off stuff planned here and there, but do we think we might be coming back to the States for a headlining?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, the fictional town that is the story takes place in is in the States.
Okay.
So, like, we made up the town, but it's in the States. So, 100%, yes, we will be back. I mean, it's one of our favorite places in the world anyway. I've been to a lot of different states. I've got family out there. And yes, we will 100% be back. And sorry, we are, to be absolutely shameless, we're huge Disney fans, and you guys have the best theme parks. So, we got to come for that.
Oh, yeah.
Alongside shows.
And there's two. You can hit California and Florida.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
You get it. Yeah.
And we got Harry Potter World too.
I know.
At the Universal ones. I mean, listen, we can't compete with, the set tour that you guys have over there. But
oh no, you can. You can.
Oh.
You really can.
All right.
Some of those rides, I'm still convinced are legit magic. So
I won't argue with you there. Very cool. Well, I think that about wraps it up for us here. Sydney Rae White, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Wild Things, ladies and gentlemen. For all my East Coast folks in the U.S., they are here with The Who next week, May 26th at Madison Square Garden, followed up by a headlining show at Mercury Lounge. For all my friends across the pond, you can catch them with Pearl Jam at Hyde Park. And Only Attraction, the first single from the upcoming album Afterglow, is streaming now on all platforms. Go give it a listen. It's great.